Good morning. My name is Craig Murray. This is Beacon Safety Co. We are like Waze, but for cyclists.
Meet Pete, Samantha, and Greg. These three people are members of an elite cycling team. They travel all over the country to compete in some of the sport's biggest events. Until now, it's been difficult for them to keep track of each other while on the road. They used one app to plan their trips, another to help them get there fast and avoid traffic, and another to help them communicate in real time. The problem with that is one of safety. It's not safe switching between apps and staring at a tiny screen while trying to drive and concentrate on the road. That's precisely why their group switched to Cavalcade. With Cavalcade, they get everything in one place. A meetup-style interface to plan their trips. An interactive traffic alert feature that helps them plan the best routes to their destinations. A real-time encrypted chat function that allows for private or group communications that beats texting by a huge margin when it comes to safety on the road. And best of all, an AI artificial intelligent voice feature that overrides any human voice text and gives information about their surroundings, like bicycles or motorcycles anywhere in the driving environment. It's like having a friend helping you safely navigate all the way to your destination. Go to cavalcade.in and find out how Cavalcade can help make all your big group trips more safe and organized.
All right, so as you might have guessed from the video, the problem that we're trying to solve is to prevent cycling deaths and accidents around the country. As a cyclist myself, this is of great concern. Most mobile apps or safety measures that I use, I feel are adequate enough for me to have peace of mind. Cycling fatalities and pedestrian fatalities are on the rise in the last 4 to 5 years. And that increase is mostly due to distracted driving. And also from my research, 83% of cycling deaths are from rear end accidents. So cars coming up from behind. Other incidents also include left-hand turns or right-hand turns by cars, and they're just not paying attention. So, Beacon Safety Co., our mission is to reduce accidents between motorists and cyclists without risking users' privacy. And while there's policy solutions and other things that we could do to help bring that number down, I'm more interested in the technology side of things. So there's a three-pronged approach. We have a hardware device called Lighthouse that is in development. I'm hoping to test it out this weekend. And basically what it is, it's very much like a car rear view camera where it tells you of information of whatever's going on behind you in the scene. But this particular device I'm developing goes on the back of a bicycle and uses a camera to analyze the situation behind you. It doubles as a nighttime red light flasher, which is required by law for nighttime riding, so that's convenient. And the main advantage for this approach is that you can see the cyclist day and night with our companion app, MapMeo. This was released last December, and this is a free way to share your location anonymously. And this is kind of the backdrop for everything that goes on. It connects to Lighthouse and Cavalcade. Cavalcade is a premium service built on top of MapMeo, and it's to bring a social experience to cycling. It includes the basic functionality of MapMeo, where it's free to detection of other cars or cyclists, motorcyclists, other vehicles on the road. And this approach is to help bring some revenue in and make sure we can provide that service. All right, revenue model, pretty basic right now. We're going to be going to local bike shops to sell the Lighthouse hardware device. We're going to retail it for about $200. That is competitive with other competing units on the market for very high-end bike lights and newer products that include radar or LiDAR technology. Those aren't as comprehensive as computer vision. With Cavalcade, that'll be further down the road, but we'll be focusing on consumer side interaction first, and then the second phase will be towards enterprise editions, which include emergency services and fleet management. Now the team. Myself, I've been the CEO and founder for quite some time, and I do contract out a little bit for software development when I need it. My board consists of Monty Montgomery, who's the CFO. He's a veteran in funding, and then Ryan Norman's a local lawyer. Some of you may know him. He's awesome. What Beacon Safety Team needs right now is a advisory board and some mentors in guiding it towards a proper release. For me, myself, I need someone to validate the computer vision part of the hardware piece. I don't know if you guys know any physicists or people in that arena, but that'd be super. I'm also recruiting for an experienced CTO to kind of tighten up that department so I can focus on CEO duties. And of course, the question I get a lot is, well, when is this being released and whatnot? Of course, money solves a lot of problems, and I can definitely speed up the timetable there. So a few resources there. You can reach me at that email address there. I'll take questions.
So let me open the question for you. So it looks like you were coached, that we were going to
Yeah.
ask you what can the community do for you. So
Yes.
you've already shared some of that. Is there anything else along those lines that you'd like to share?
I
Can
did
you
take out a
download
few
your app?
slides, but no.
No, okay, so it's not ready yet for that. Okay, so we'll open it up to questions. We have 20 minutes of Q&A, and you can go ahead and call on the question askers.
Yeah.
Good morning. I actually have three, but let's see how it goes.
Sure.
Back to your slide with the cost of the Lighthouse of $200. What's that cost you to get that?
Built. Right now, the manufacturing cost, hand assembled, it's about $80.
Is that something that can be improved?
Sorry?
Can that drop down lower?
It could drop down significantly
Okay.
lower.
If you can, as advice, if you can get underneath what your competition is when you're going in to talk to the bicycle shops. Second thing is there was legislation 2 years ago, I believe, that expanded by 3 feet the distance cars are supposed to stay away from cyclists. Has the state of California reported any decrease in accidents due to that?
Not yet. Those stats I'm looking forward to seeing if that did make a difference or not. I think psychologically it does help, but we'll see. Been following a lot of the local stories, around incidents, and it still happens.
Yeah.
Other questions?
So is this a service with like a platform of 3 different technologies built on top of each other?
Yes, and Mapmio is sort of the glue behind all of it.
Okay.
So the hardware piece does talk to Mapmio, and then Cavalcade will give that information to Mapmio as well.
So you go in, you buy a Lighthouse, what are you calling the product?
Yeah, Lighthouse for now.
Lighthouse camera vision, whatever. And then with that comes instruction to download this app, which kind of brings the whole product
Right.
full circle.
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
cool. And in terms of physicists, who was that company that came up with the spritzer for cycling?
Oh,
Spruza.
Spruza.
He he got assistance from UC Davis. They made it a project to help him determine body temperature reduction from spritz to the face or something like that. So you might want to knock on that door to see if they could parlay it into some sort of justification with their using their physicists. So that might just be a resource you might want to explore.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
You were mentioning a camera on the back. How does the rider see what's on the screen?
So there's options, right? The Lighthouse device itself will have a speaker and it can announce, hey, there's a cyclist.
So there is a method to get the information to the rider.
I'm sorry.
There is a method in this device that gets the information
Yes.
to the rider.
Yes, yeah, and there's a couple ways to do that, through the auditory signals, or it connects to Mapio, which can be mounted on the top of your bike, and it can give you that visual information as well.
Does it come with a physical?
Go ahead.
Does it come with a physical mount?
I'm sorry? No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's what you were kind of alluding to.
Mhm.
So is your signal possible to, future going back to control a car?
Sorry.
Because if the signal going back to control a car, like to the brake or to turn, to physically.
For cyclists to have that effectiveness, they have to be really close. The computer vision part will go out to 150 feet, and it will be more comprehensive as they get closer. I mean, it's not really effective at 150 feet, but like 20 feet. But it can detect those patterns. It's just a matter of testing comfort.
I'm curious, what process did you go through to validate that this is a product that people would want to use?
Great question. So 2 years ago, I went to Startup Weekend and entered. We won that based off of a ultrasonic sensor device. And at the time, ultrasonic sensors were the only feasible sensor in the market, and that could only go out to 50 feet. So it was a no-go. In terms of validation, we went to cyclists, motorists, motorcyclists, different market segments, and said, hey, would you want this device on your bicycle? And most said yes, as long as it wasn't, ugly or it didn't look cool or whatnot. But the most important part was cyclists want to be seen. They want to be visible, and with distracted driving on the rise, it's a very dangerous thing.
Is any of this proprietary to you? Is any of it special to you of the product? Do you have something that differentiates you or keeps other people from copying you?
Sorry, can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. Is this a proprietary device? Do you own a patent on it or anything like that?
No, not yet. I have not filed for provisional or formal patents on these.
Are you considering filing?
Yes, I will be shortly. So.
Other questions? How are you funding right now?
Out of pocket. Yeah.
Are you working full-time at this?
Yes, I am. I work 40 hours a week, and for me, it's been just a matter of risk. And at what point do you go full-time on this? It's not exactly the most traditional startup in terms of focusing on safety, but you get your trade-offs.
So you mentioned that one of the key things that cyclists would like to see is more visibility. Is there any way that your MapMe app might be able to tie into like the Waze APIs or any of the other things that would give motorists a heads up that there's a cyclist there?
That is our most direct competitor. I don't really like the way that there's a social login tied in with that, as well as advertising ads. That's not really safe. I mean, to distract drivers for advertising. Yes, we could use the Waze API to kind of grow the base, but not gonna do it. Good question.
So, what is the weight?
What is Waze?
What's the weight?
the weight.
Weight.
How much does it weigh?
How much
Size
does
of
it
the bike,
weigh?
right?
How much does the product weigh?
Yeah.
About 1 pound, maybe less.
Is it with the cyclist? I came in late, sorry.
Is it on the bike or on the cyclist?
Sorry, I can't hear.
Is it on the bike or on the cyclist?
It's on the bike. It mounts underneath the bike, and it's
And it
about
weighs a pound?
that big. Yeah.
And nobody's complained about that? No cyclist has complained about that?
Has anyone complained about the weight?
No, we haven't tested with other riders yet.
Oh,
I
you
mean, so
should.
it's more about the software side of detecting objects, mini objects, and then the
Yeah,
distance.
you should test this with cyclists,
Oh,
bike
yeah.
clubs.
They're
Because
obsessed with
that's
weight.
very wet.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
weight. Yeah.
Yeah,
lot of
that's a
weight.
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Is there value to the app without the hardware, without the Lighthouse hardware?
In theory, yes, there is, but only if there's other users around you. So that was kind of the gotcha of the initial launch of Mapmio. There wasn't much incentive for drivers to use the app if there was nobody else around you. And for drivers, having search and directions was key. So that feature was omitted because of cost. I mean, that can rise pretty quickly. So, darn. Next time, we'll be using search and directions.
So you said you're looking for a CTO.
Yes.
And I know you personally, so I know you know a lot of technical people and
Yes.
that you're a coder yourself.
Yes.
So what kind of characteristics are you looking for in a CTO beyond knowledge of coding?
Beyond knowledge of coding. Great question. They must love Sacramento. They must know the trails very well. There's a certain culture I also aspire to as well. Very open, respectful. I mean, it just really depends on the interview process too, getting a feel for that person.
What will they bring technically that you don't already possess yourself?
A lot of back-end work is what I'm looking for on the skill set.
So more of an architect?
Yes, exactly. Someone who already has that experience.
Right. And on the Lighthouse hardware side, is there anyone you're working with to maybe optimize the size and the weight of that device?
Yes.
I'm
yes.
assuming hardware is not your specialty, or is it?
It is.
Okay.
So I do have expertise in hardware, a little bit of software, but I'm mostly looking for a guy who can put it all together and be dependent on that person in the future.
Other questions? Okay, well, thank you very much, Craig.
Thank you.